What's happening, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. I am that guy, and you guys are tuning in today. We are going to be grabbing force cam on a phone call. We're going to go over a few things, give a little bit of introduction and stuff so you guys can actually see the ones responsible here for these amazing products and kits for the performance of your CRF230F and 250F needs. We're also going to cover some stuff as far as some tuning goes, just to kind of help guide you guys in a right direction, but we also want to hear it from them themselves. So while they offer the Athlon ECUs, they are the ones that program these with multiple different tunes when they send them out to you guys, which we have worked hand in hand with trying to develop the best tunes to be able to push out depending on where you are located. So we're going to get into some of that stuff. So let's go ahead and get force cam on the line now. All right, guys, we have got force cam on the line with us here. How you doing, brother?
Hey, I'm good. What about you?
Oh, doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. I'm glad we could get this get this on a video call this time instead of a dark room like last time.
Absolutely.
So,
Oh yeah. Uh, I'm very grateful to be here with you. Finally, we found some time to do this hangout.
yep,
Uh,
absolutely. And just for a lot of people that are just kind of tuning into things, they've just been brought to the channel. They just now are hearing about force cam, and they're seeing a lot of videos come out on these big bore kits. We're racing them. We're doing enduro with them. We're trail riding. We're putting it to the test. We're abusing these bikes to see every last thing that we can push out, and they're holding up, and there's no worry about that in the world. So just for anybody else out there, if you want to just kind of give a quick introduction as far as, you know, force cam, where you kind of came from, and what drove you essentially to, you know, making these kits and being so involved in the performance.
yeah. Okay. Force Camp is a Brazilian-based company. As some of you guys may already know. We manufacture some parts for the CRF230 and CRF250F, and only for these two bikes, because they are what we call here the national bikes. They are manufactured here in Brazil, and as the Japanese bikes are so expensive here because of the taxes, the Brazilian market, the Brazilian off-road market, uh, absolutely adopted the CRF 230 and 250F as a must. So it's much more affordable, and the market for those two bikes is much bigger than the Japanese versions. And I, as both of these bikes don't have such good performance engine wise, we specialized in developing engine parts to upgrade, to increase performance for this bikes. And we only work with performance parts regarding engine, not accessories and other stuff, suspensions, not of that, nothing of that.
Yep. And that's actually awesome that you had mentioned that, because I've tried to get that across to a lot of folks that watch our videos, and they mention about the 250F. Well, it's not a race bike. It's not this. It's a trail bike. Well, what they don't understand is exactly what you just said. The taxes are so much higher there, and to get these Japanese brands and other European brands over to you guys, it's very expensive. And when you've got a bike manufactured there, but you guys coming out with these high performance parts as far as, you know, engine wise, to give you that extra bump to hang in there with these race bikes that are, you know, the Japanese brands and all, that right there should answer a lot of everybody else's question out here of why. So now you've got the why and why force cam does what they do. But piggybacking off of that, your big bore kits that you guys have for the 250Fs. I know you also do the 230Fs. So I know with the 250F, you have your 275, your 310, and your 360. And then you can opt for either having the rally cam or the race cam, which is a lot more aggressive of a cam. Now, what do you have as far as for anybody that's watching this for a 230F as well?
Oh yeah. Actually, we started with the 230F, and we have plenty of parts for it. We have five camshafts divided in five stages: stage 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We had recently the stage 6, but we removed from the pipeline. It's not more available, no longer available. And we have also for the 230 big bar keys for sure, which transforms the bike to 240 and 255.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, I didn't know. I'm not even gonna lie. I did not know about what kits you guys carried as far as for the 230. But I see a lot of people that say, "Hey, I just upgraded to a 250 from my 230." And so I figure that's a good time to go ahead and plug those kits. So
The 230 has a good aftermarket in the United States. I think that's the reason American people don't reach out to me for the 230, because there are some camshafts, few camshafts, but for the 250F, I think there are no US-based company manufacturing aftermarket parts.
yep. And that's actually
That's right.
that's actually a really good point of there are hardly no companies in the US for aftermarket parts, which is another big thing of trying to get some folks to also understand is there's a difference between you're not ordering something from Temu or or Amazon or eBay as far as like a makeshift kit. These are designed specifically for these 230 and 250Fs, okay? So you're getting absolutely top quality stuff, as well as the option with the Athlon fully tunable ECU that you guys actually program yourselves as far as with the tunes and placing those on, which, working little by little with everybody that's had, really good success with these ECUs and kind of putting these custom tunes on it and helping them to kind of dial things in and tune it seems to be the biggest thing because there's so much variance of elevation, so much variance of the fuel types that everybody runs. But we'll get into that here in just a sec. I want to kind of take a step over to the 360 kit that you guys do have. A lot of folks have talked about possibly wanting to pull the trigger on the 360 kit. I get a lot of words in the ears and I read it, of everyone asking about these 360 kits. And I think the biggest thing is because you also have your ported head, and that is required with the 360 kit, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And you don't need that ported head though for a 310. It's not necessary for a 310. It's not necessary for the 275, but it is required for
Yeah,
the
that's
360.
right.
Okay.
Yeah, that's because it's not it's not necessary, but the 360 will not perform well. It will underperform with the stock head, and it will overheat. But even the stock bike can take advantage of a good ported head for sure. But it's true that the bigger the bigger the bottleneck the stock head causes. So that's the reason the 360 requires a ported head to be able to perform well.
Okay. And that's actually a great.
But with the 310, you can have big gains in performance as well as the 255 for sure.
Okay.
But not so big as the 360. The difference will be much greater in the case of the 360.
Okay. And then that was actually a really good point. Is probably one of the biggest things I have been asked is, hey, have you or your buddy or anybody, you know, has they had any issues on overheating? That has been another huge question. And I always tell them, no, I have never had an issue with overheating. And a lot of people have actually, when I tell them that, it's funny because I've actually have to let my bike warm up. Before you can't just jump on it, just go. With the race camshaft, the big bore, it needs to hit a, you know, certain temperature. And what that's around, what, a 110 Celsius? Is that around roughly where it should be?
Yeah.
Um, and that's,
Yeah.
there is a huge difference as well with letting it heat up. You're really gonna optimize, you're gonna get the most power out of your kit with it being fully warmed up. I've noticed a difference from just hopping on it and riding. The short answer to that question, it does not overheat. And please make sure you warm the bike up. I've actually came to you before and I've told you what I'm running temperature wise, and I have been told by them themselves that, holy shit, you're still not warmed up. So
It's too good. Well,
yeah.
we have to remember that these bikes are cool, but every combustion engine has a sweet spot regarding temperature. And for these engines, the sweet spot is between 100 to 120 degrees Celsius, and that's the range we will reach the maximum performance of the range. That means that under this range, we are going to underperform, and above this range, we are going to underperform also. However, as this is an acute engine, unfortunately, even the stock bike will reach bigger temperatures from that range. I mean, the stock bike can reach up to 135 degrees Celsius, depending on the area. If you live or ride on a hot area, but that's okay. That's not a problem. The just for reference, the 350 can reach up to 165 or even a bit more degrees Celsius of temperature, maximum temperature. We generally use this maximum temperature to reach it to have an idea of how is the air fuel ratio. So the 360 can reach up to 165 degrees Celsius or even a bit more. And we can use this maximum temperature region to have an idea of how the air fuel ratio is. It's not so precise, but we can have a clue. In that way, I can take a look at the maximum temperature of your bike and judging by what is installed in the engine and every other part regarding the engine. I can say if the air fuel ratio is okay, is near the sweet spot, close to sweet spot. Also, take in consideration the external temperature, the climate. I mean, if you live in a cool place, if you live in a hot place, we can take all this in consideration and have a good idea about the air fuel rate.
That's actually a really good point because I had mentioned right before we got you on the phone about kind of working with and toying with some of these tunes.
Just in the past, my father used to look into the spark plug color to have an idea about how was the air to radio.
Yep.
But that's not so precise. I think you guys
Yep.
have made that already,
Yep.
at least sometime.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Yep.
it's more, it's kind of the same idea with looking into the maximum temperature. It's just like the color of the spark plug,
Yep.
but a bit more precise.
A good bit, yeah, a good bit more precise, and I think that's a real big thing for people to understand is as well is you're not just purchasing, say, something like this ECU even, and just getting a bunch of these preloaded maps. Yes, you are, but here's the thing, and so many people can vouch for this, and they already have. It's all over YouTube, it's all over Facebook. People have vouched for as far as your customer service. You always get in touch with people. You will always help them, figure out what's going on. I'm always here to help answer questions. And I'll be honest with you guys, if you reach out to me, chances are, if it's not something we've already covered, which we've covered a lot of stuff over the last year, but if it's not, or you live in an area like your elevation or your temperature is different, well, this is our man right here, and this is who makes it all happen.
Yeah.
And he can go back in and tweak these tunes, send you a brand new tune if you just let them, let us know exactly, when you reach out what you're looking at, and you don't have to just bombard them with nothing but questions and emails. Come to me. You can also hit me up. I'm always here on Facebook, Instagram. You've got my emails are in the links. But hit me up. I will try and help you guys through some of this stuff. And if a new tune is required, just know that they can do it. They absolutely will. He's
Yeah.
done it for me multiple times when my bike wasn't heating up like we had mentioned. And next thing you know, he's emailing me a new tune. Hey, try this. He's getting what my temperature is outside where I am in elevation, and boom, fixed instantly. So, and I've got another video out on exactly how to import those tunes as well. All the links for everything are under the CRF250F build as far as the playlist goes, and I keep all the links in the descriptions here of these videos for you guys. So you are not left out to dry. It is not like a one size fits all on some of these tunes. Every bike can be different. It depends on where you live as well. And going from that, what I will say is when it comes to your fuel, we'll talk about that. Because Brazil obviously runs a lot of ethanol in your fuels. Whereas here, we have the option in a lot of places to go up to, as high as 91, 93 octane with no ethanol in it. But my big question, and I really want everybody to kind of hear it from you, is does the fuel matter as far as what you are running in these bikes, whether it be your standard 87 octane with 10% ethanol in it, which I believe is pretty standard all across the US for your cheapest pump gas? Or should they be trying for a 90 or a 91 or 93 with no ethanol? Does it matter?
Yeah, it's matter a bit, especially the octane, because the higher the octane, you can run a bigger compression rate. But all of our pistons are made for the H7 octane, but we have a higher compression piston for the 93 octane version of gasoline. So, what about the ethanol? It's all about you. It's relative to costs, but ethanol helps the engine to cool down a bit, and also maybe can provide a bit more top power at the high revs, but it will also depend on the compression rate. But I think in the case of the 10% ethanol will not make a difference. Uh, but we have this option, and it is an interesting option of the 12, 12 for 1 compression rate diesel that will run very good with the 93 octane.
Okay. And that's good to know. I run 93 in all of my bikes. I know that it was a pain at first to kind of get dialed in and fine tuned, which luckily now even you're sending out when somebody orders the ECU, you have something there for this 93.
I forgot to mention that obviously if you are going to run the ethanol version, it will require another map, a richer map. We preload the ethanol ECU with 5 or 6 maps. I remember well. Yeah, there is 6 maps.
Yep.
And the very first map is the richer map. But I don't think that map is good to go with the 8% ethanol. Maybe the map number 3 or map number 2 will perform well. Need some testing for sure.
Yeah.
I have a good point to that is, I realize that American customers are more conservative, so they order more the 275 kit, the core kit, because they think about reliability. But I can assure you the 310 kit is as reliable as the 275. That is as reliable as the stock engine of the CRF250F.
Yes, and that is a great point. The reliability.
Don't be afraid to upgrade to the 310 kit.
Yes.
You are missing your kit because a lack of trust.
Yes, and actually going into that, it will segue me to this as far as what you're saying. The reliability is, I'm sure everybody out here has seen the one video that kind of blew up as far as the Battle of the Boars, where we took the 275.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, that one was. Yeah, yeah. We had a lot of fun. we had a lot of fun with that, and we put the 275 against the 310, but the 310 has the rally cam, and then the 275 has the race cam. And it was so close between these two. The biggest difference, what it came down to, was what are you looking for in your bike? And it was the 275 with the race cam. It wanted to be revved. It wanted to be up in the RPMs. It wanted to just scream and go. And then your rally cam in that 310, the damn thing was a tractor. I mean, it doesn't matter. It just, just throaty deep and just, I mean, it got it. It ate and it dug into the ground and it would just rip shit up. But the thing is they are both so extremely reliable. And I've said it on a couple of my other videos. I have torn that engine back down as well. And I've torn it down twice. Just once was just to confirm as far as my valve clearances, just to make sure nothing there, and just reassuring those. And then the second time was also just seeing not only just valve clearance, but also for any type of metal shavings, anything like that.
Yeah.
And of course, I did my first oil change after, a little bit of putting a few hours on it, but there was none of that. And I will go ahead and tell you, I was running the EJK, and we're not going to talk on this, but what I will say is it is a fuel programmer, not an ECU. And I will say that it dumped so much fuel into this bike, while yes, I figured that it was running okay, but when I took my bike apart to do this bore kit, I showed you guys in the install video of how much buildup was on that piston. I mean, it was so heavy and gunked up. It was terrible. There was not an ounce of any gunk on this piston, when I ended up removing everything, not just for the valve clearance, but I also taken the cylinder off just to check everything. Or the head, I took the head down to the cylinder and everything was pristine. So yes, you have nothing to worry about reliability. If you're going to do a kit, I will go ahead and say I may be pretty biased now to that 310 kit. I know I have the 275 race, but I really feel that a 310 race may be in the very near future.
You should try it. You should try that.
Yeah, I'm really wanting to do a 310 race on this 275 back here. Just to, toy around with that because I love how it just screams. I mean, this thing just.
That's the way to go. With the race 10 shot, the 310 kit is the way to go.
It's unreal the power that thing makes.
Yeah. They are both made for each other.
They really are. So yeah, nobody. Don't worry about the damn reliability. I promise you, it's been proven.
Yeah.
They've been proving it for the past what? How many years that it works? We've just been testing everything out for about the past year. So I'm here to tell you, yes, it works. They are all reliable. You don't have anything to worry about, but stop being so conservative as far as being scared to do big increases. Say 275 to 310. Get the most bang for your buck. It is going to depend on what you really want. And to me, I don't know what a 275 with a rally cam feels like, but what I can tell you is I don't think I could ever go down to a 275 on my upgrade again after feeling just that 310 even. It feels like the stock bike as far as you can lug in first gear and you're not going to stall out. You just, in the moment you give it throttle, it takes right back off again. So it's just, it blows my mind. Anyway, jumping into a few things though as well here before we wrap some stuff up, as far as giving some folks some tips and tricks on some of their tuning. A lot of people, when you go into your Athlon app, and after you do, your TPS calibration, we're not going to get into how to set your ECU up, y'all. I've got 2 videos out. I promise you, it will get you dialed in. But we are going to give you as far as some tips and tricks of more is not always better. And that is what the big point of these tips and tricks are. And I will go ahead and say I've been asked more about throttle response. I will say probably a dozen times of, it's just barely a little laggy. I'm trying to increase the fuel. I'm now increasing the air. So in your quick adjustment though, a lot of folks aren't realizing that in your low section of the injection, it is okay to decrease that.
Yeah, sometimes it's the way to go.
As well as your idle adjustment when you're in your quick adjustment for your fuel, for your injection timing there, or for your air. Is it okay to have to back that off, say, the -5 increment on the air?
Yeah, it's exactly. When we built the maps, it was built with recite. When we build a map, we built upon a recite. Over a recite, there was our exhaust as a bore kit for the stock piston, certain camshaft, the open air box, stock head, reported head, and all this stuff. And we don't have a map for everything that exists in the market. So we don't have a map for your exhaust, for example. And exhaust sometimes can make a big difference, especially in low revs, like idling, especially idling, and even that first touch on the throttle. So you can find that different exhausts will cause very different, will need very different this specific range. So sometimes people will need to decrease or even increase the amount of fuel injected, and that will depend on the exhaust and every other thing that is installed in the bike. Okay, but it's possible that you need to remove some fuel. That's perfectly possible. Even the valve clearance makes a difference in that, especially in the eye.
Yes. Yeah, I found that out very fast. As everybody knows, my part one was supposed to be the install of the kit. Part two, I think, the clutch, and three was going to be me testing it. And I think we ended up with a part one, a 1.5, a two, 2.5. Mostly
Yeah,
broke cam chains.
it's very yeah, it's very hard to find the map without a no choose sensor. I know, but you have to make minor changes and give it a try.
Yep.
Don't go too much because you can get lost.
Yes. Yep. And that's
Do it step
real.
by step.
Yes, step by step, baby steps, uh,
Yeah, baby steps. That's right.
and the biggest thing that will also help correct too with as far as somebody's elevation. That's going to also be okay. Well, I'm sitting say
Yeah.
4,000.
There's actually elevation compensator in the app. You can play with, but it's very hard for us to determine what are the right values to input there because I never take my bike to 2,000 meters of elevation, so I have a clue about exactly what we need at those elevations. But we find a good compensator, but it's true that for super high elevations, you can find it, it will need a bit of adjustment for sure.
Okay, that was the next question I was going to ask because yes, I know you have the altitude offset in the app, and I'll be honest, I am nowhere near as bright as you guys are. If I went toying with something, I am not comfortable with all those numbers and me hitting a button. So, I think for right now, as far as until something, as far as
It's
you know, further
scary.
development. We will stick to, I think it's in the best interest of everybody not to mess with altitude offset just yet. And I believe you can, with having done, I know just two myself, but also helping a lot of other people with their bikes, is there is really not much that whether you are adjusting it in your quick adjustment or on your quick acceleration as well. Um, there's not much that really cannot bring you to having zero issues with throttle response or anything like that. So biggest takeaway on this is please do not be afraid to subtract fuel or subtract air.
Absolutely.
Don't always think that you have to give it more.
You have to try. You can decrease and make it fast. Increase and make it fast.
As far as also on there, when it comes to your quick adjustment, don't be afraid as well on your low RPMs, your mid RPMs, high RPMs, to tweak some minor adjustments there as well. I think that there has been more times than none that we are having to adjust, say, like your low RPM. And
For
then,
sure.
but after that, it seems like, whether you need to bump that up to, say, 2,500 or what have you, that's also a possibility, and it may be needed as well. Um,
Yeah, you can change the RPM to determine what is the low bid, the lead bid, the high bid.
yep. So,
One good step to go is like you mentioned, 2500 for a load. That's a good way to start.
what do we have here?
If you need to increase or decrease the low bid a lot, uh, you have to change the lead band as well. and make a smooth transition.
Yeah. Don't expect to make a we're not playing a video game where you can gear the bike or RPM super low just to be a torque monster. It's not going to work like that. Um, make sure you guys do drop anything that you guys have question wise in the comments. You can also find us. You can reach out Force Cam as well. You can reach out to them. Will have all the links like I always do in the description of the videos if you guys are interested in checking out what they have, whether it be the heavy duty clutch kit, whether it be the bore kits, your cams, the fully tunable ECU from them. Go ahead and check their site out. Go up there, translate it. You can see everything they have for the CRF 230Fs, the 250Fs. You can see it all. Again, all the links are in the description. Feel free to hit these guys up if you are interested in anything. You can hit them up on WhatsApp. Again, I will have that down below, as well as their email. Hit them up. I promise you, they get back to you. Customer service, I have not heard a single bad thing on customer service. So do not be afraid, guys. We've got a lot of stuff coming up here as well for the future. We are going to be running the CRF 250F, well, the 310 big bore kit of my buddies. We will be running the 275 and yes, some of the Cowie in the US Sprint Enduro Series next year. We will be doing that full series. We'll hit a couple winter off-road nationals, a few of the Mid-South races, but we are going to be there. If you guys are there, swing by, man. Tell us hi. You can't miss it, man. We'll have the banner up here representing for everybody that supports us. Huge shout out to. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you being on this call. And do not forget, reach out, comment down below. Let us know what you guys think. If there's something you want covered, we will cover it. I promise you, we never leave y'all hanging. We do have the 1 year review of the big bore kit that we are going to end up releasing here very soon. We've got a couple more months to go on it. Yeah, we've got a couple more months to go on it. We've got a few more rides of abuse that we're going to absolutely put this thing into. And we have had zero issues so far. So anyway, y'all stay tuned for that. I appreciate you guys as always. Please be a friend, tell a friend, like, share, and subscribe, and show some love. Share this shit around here for Force Cam. Let's help get them the recognition they deserve. Let's boost up some numbers. Let's make it happen here. I appreciate y'all. We will catch you guys later and see you on the next go-around. I appreciate you, brother.
Thank you, Justin. Thank you, everybody. Muito obrigado.